All right, hello all. So in this video, what I'm going to go over is how I handled new tabs that open up when you click on a button. There'll be some type of action on a web page, and a new tab opens. For example, this is the application I'm going to be using here, this online banking web app. And when I click on login, you can see that a new tab opens to the login page. So what I'm going to do is just got a short test case. It's like a negative test case, and here, and all it's just going to do is just try to log in, and an error message should pop up that you can't log in. So go here in the login ID and the password, just put something, and you should get that message there. So I created the login page objects already in here. Go to my objects, page objects here, and here's my login page objects. So I created the objects and the methods to access those objects. I use locators, the XPath locators and ID locators here, and I captured that message as well here. I believe it's right here. And so yeah, so I put together a short test case, and I want to be able to interact and use that new tab that opens up. So the method I put together, so you can see it's right here. So this is my test case. Just to back up a little bit, this is my test case. I got a beginning and end here blocked, and you can see I got my clicking on the login button. So I got my steps here. Click into it, and it goes into the landing page object file, and here's my method for clicking on that login button. And if I just drill down into this goes into my ElementActions, and then this is my wrapper, my error handling for the clicking on some type of web element on the web page in here. So my framework, just to back up a little bit, my framework, it's your, I guess you can say, your standard basic framework, or your you'll find frameworks built like this in this standardized approach, where I have my base class, of course, here. Base class, I have my where I launch my browser in here, and I have my before suite, after suite, before method, after method, test ng parameters here, some groupings as well too in here. I set up my logging, and I set up my config properties as well. So I use that in here as well. That is right here. So it's just very small right now, but right now I just got my username and password in here. The browser's not being used. I use that in the test ng file. And then I got my like a global explicit implicit wait, where I can manipulate those wait times in here. And then I got main page title and login page title. I can put a lot more in here as well too. Page titles might change, so as the framework and as the application grows and changes over time, the titles might get changed, and you can add in new titles in here, of course. So I use that, and I initiate it in my base class so I can use it throughout the framework, throughout anywhere in the framework, because of course I'm doing that inheritance with my base class by extending it, so I can extend it to other files within the framework. So yeah, so this is pretty convenient. That way you can manipulate and change and add new page titles. You can put in XPaths in here as well too. And if things change, you can change it in one spot rather than in different spots within the framework. So this makes it very convenient. It's just I don't have this fully blown out yet framework. That's why there's only some pieces in here, but you get an idea of how I'm going to try to use that. Yeah, so of course the launch app in here to start my Firefox or Chrome or IE driver, whatever you have. you want to use. I've been using Chrome driver and Firefox for my tests. Yeah, so and then of course this is my element actions file. So my element actions file, this is where I put in my what I want to do, how I want to interact with that element within the web page, like clicking or typing text, finding an element, verifying it's there, seeing if it's displayed. So I have various actions in here. And then the error handling wrapped around those actions. So if it fails, you get a nice, easy way to trap the error and log it and see it in the reporting and logging. In the page objects, these are your standard page objects in here. So this is where you build out your page objects that you want to use for each page. Right now I'm using the login page. And I got a few others in here, but I'm focusing on the login page right now. And I got my username and my password and the login button, and then the message in here. So that represents these web elements here, and the message up here. And another file that I use is this UserFlow file. So what this is where I put in my steps that become repeated. So if you have 2, 3, 4, a dozen test cases using the same steps over the time, you can create a basic user flow where you can combine all those steps into one method. Right now, I only got my login steps in here, but you can get the idea of what I'm trying to do here. And I just put them all in here in my user flow, and then I can use this login steps in the test case, which you can see right here. So you can see there, user flows, my user flow file. And these steps in here are using the login page objects methods. So if I just drill down into that, so it's, and then here, so this is the text box, the input box, adding the username, and then here, this is where this one is connected to the element actions. So if I drill down in it, so it goes into the element actions with the typing method, and then of course I got all my error handling logging wrapped around that. So you can see how that all interacts and connects together, and creates a nice readable framework, reusable methods, very easy to read, to manipulate and maintain, and have it grow with the application in here. If you got a visual of that, if I go back into here and then go into my whiteboard, online whiteboard, you can see I created a kind of a visual diagram of that in here. So there's the test case. Test case has the test steps, and if you get a few test steps that come together and you get a user flow that becomes more repetitive, that's going to be used by other test cases, you can put that in the user flow file. And then the user flow file test steps will use the page objects and the locators or methods within that page object file. And then of course that can be used the element actions, clicking and manipulating the elements on the web page. So you can see how it's all connected. And the beauty of object-oriented is that you can use them anywhere within the framework. But you want to kind of have a nice logical flow to it, make it easy to read and easy to maintain. But the test case can bypass user flows and page object and go right to use an element action for something. So you could do that, but you want to keep a consistent flow and make it readable and easy to read and maintain. And then you get your supporting files, of course, over here. You got the base class, startup, teardown, logging, reporting, utility files, config files, reading the INI files, which I touched on a little bit here. Logging and reporting in the utility package here. So my extent manager listener class, logging Java here, log4j, and then reporting, create my HTML reporting file. So that's what's kind of showing here. And then, of course, with Selenium Java, you got your POM the project object model, and your test.ng XML files, which can be used within a CI/CD process framework with Jenkins and Azure. You can just use those within those tools to create a CI/CD process. So you can kind of see how it all comes together in here. Let me just go back to here. So going back to the login TC, I'll touch on my test.ng files down here that I've broken out, and I created ways to launch the test cases for now. But I'll come back to that in a few minutes. So going back to the actual test case, so here it is here. So let's go back into, so I click on the login button, and I want to be able to manipulate that new tab that opened up here. So the new tab opens up, and then I want to be able to interact with this tab and these web elements on here, these page objects. So what I did was I created a reusable method in here so it can be used with other test cases, and I got some parameters set up for it in here. This false parameter, so I got the same tab user method down here. So this true and false, this is if I want to keep it open or close it, close the tab. This one is the index of the tab. So the tabs that get open within a web page are start at 0 and then go to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I click on login, so this becomes 1. So I'll go back into my test case. You can see my parameter here. I'm going to be interacting with the first tab, which is the new tab that opens up. And then what I'm going to do is verify that the proper tab did open, which is the login page title. And again, this is my properties config file that I showed you earlier here. If I go back into here, so there's my login page title there. So I'm verifying that that title on that tab is open. Just a way to verify and make sure that I'm on the right tab. And if the title page changes, then you can change it in here, easy. So go back into here. So let's just dive into it. Let's just drill down into it. So here's my user method for the tab. So you can see in here, here's my parameters, my flag, to open or close the tab, the index of the tab that I'm working with, and then the title to verify that I'm working with the right tab. So in here, the element actions to switch tabs. So this is where I go in and I switch to the right tab. And again, I'm using the tab index and the title for that. Let's just drill down into that. It's in my ElementActions file. So here I can again put some error handling around it, wrap some error handling around the methods or the steps that are happening in here. So I use the basic tab strings array list here, and I can get that with the handles. So this will tell me what and how many tabs I have and get the handles of those. And I just do a verification here. I just do a tab, not necessarily verification. I print out, log out the how many tabs are open in here. I get the title of the current tab, and that in this case should be this one here, right? So I'm just checking to see if it changes. Let me just verify that. Yeah. So the current tab that's open is the main page, and then I switch based on the index. So that's where that index comes into play. So I want to switch to the first index, well, the number 1 index tab. So once I switch the new index, then now I can use that gets the focus. So I can now use it and manipulate the web elements, the objects on that tab. And I do a verification here, just to check and make sure I switch to the right tab, and that's where the tab name comes in handy, and using the login page title here. So back in the ElementActions, and so I just do a quick check, make sure I'm on the right tab, and then if not, I just do a warning saying the tab name might have changed or something happened. But anyways, you can log some type of warning in here. But once you tab over to the new, switch to the new tab, you can interact with it. So all I'm doing in here is I'm just switching to it in here. And then once I switch to it, by using the switch to attribute here, I go back into login TC, and I just go back into that tab user methods. So you can see here, so once I'm done switching over to the tab, okay, then I check to see, okay, am I leaving that tab open or closing it? So in this case, I'm leaving it open. So I'm not going to be closing it because I want to interact with it. So once I switch over to that new tab, then I can do my other user flow method and put in the username and password and click on the login button, which I do here. And again, this is just connected to the page objects, the login page objects that I created in here. So we'll go back into the login TC. And so once I do the login steps, click the login button, then I should get that message that it displayed. So I'm verifying that that message is displayed, and I capture it, and that'll be a pass. And then again, what I'm doing here now is I'm closing the tab that I just opened, and then I'm quitting. So a very quick and to the point test case. So what I'll do is, let's go into the test.ng file here, and I have it set up here. So let's just run it. Okay, let's open the login button. And there we go. That was a quick check, but it did pass through. And here's my logging that I did here. And you can see here, current tab open, login innovation for the unit. So it worked. It was good. It was pretty easy to follow. But yeah, so I just wanted to put together a quick video, kind of go over how I put in some methods to interact with new tabs that open up within my framework, and I can build off of this. There's a lot more that can be done as well too, but that's what I put in here for now. Okay. Oh, before I leave, let's just refresh this. And let's just go into the logs. And so here's all my logging. I should clean this up a little bit. But here's my log4j. Just dumps everything into here. And then my HTML report. And here it is here. I could put in a, let's just do a quick run here. Let's say I'm going to try to go to tab 4 just to force an error. Okay, let's run this again, and let's see how the error handling captures all this. Okay, so there's the failure. So I captured the failure. So in here, fail cannot switch to tab with login. So it did fail, which is good. Captured it. You can see the index of 4 is trying to be used. So obviously there is no 4 tabs open. So the error did get captured. Let's just check the reports. Let's just do a refresh here. And should have a with the fill. Okay, well, I won't open it here, but the screen capture should be part of the HTML report. So let's just go into here, and yeah, there's the error trap, captured it, which is great. And there's the screenshot. So you can see the tab didn't open. Well, the tab opened, but it obviously got a screen capture of the active window. And because it couldn't tab to the switch to the new tab, it took a screenshot of this one. So it still shows that the error did happen, and the tab didn't get switched to. So that's good. Probably some little more tweaks I can put in there, but that worked pretty good. But yeah, so just wanted to show how I put in using tabs and manipulating tabs, and capturing error handling, and doing some reporting on that. Okay, thanks all for watching. Talk to you later.